about this type of violence. They've been preparing for this type of violence. They've been training their little knuckleheaded kids, taking them to the gun range and preparing them for this type of violence. I'd be less than a watchman. I'd be less than worth my cloth if I could not warn you and say that these people are as brutish as anyone else. I've got to warn you. And have not the understanding of a man. Why? Why do they not have the understanding of a single human being? Because they have to reject the truth. There's no limit to how ignorant somebody will behave in order to get away with something, in order to never have to confront the truth. Come on, let's be honest with you. It's not just them, it's us. There's some things that we go above and beyond to make sure, and again, I'm not saying that you're MAGA, but I'm saying I need to minister to you in the midst of MAGA. I need to minister to you in the midst of MAGA. Because what applies to them as a whole most certainly trickles down into your level. You have experienced this personally, and at times you have demonstrated this. Come on. Are you going to be honest with me? In the chat, are you going to be honest and say that you've been intentionally obtuse before? You've rejected the truth. You close your ears. This is what MAGA is doing. They're closing their ears. They're closing their eyes. Covering their mouth. Except they know they're not covering their mouth. They're running their mouths with all of the misinformation and disinformation necessary to get us where we are right now, where our country is under siege. And it is threatening my ability to raise my kids. I mean, let's be real. Every good father around this country right now, every good father around this country, every good mother, every good other, every person who is responsible for somebody else. Am I lying? Am I exaggerating? You tell me. Am I exaggerating when I say the people who are taking siege and laying waste to our government like a virus are the most incompetent and the most ideologically driven Neanderthals who will reject any level of truth? They don't even want to admit that it's hot in February. I don't know what it is where you are, but where we are, it's unseasonably hot. They have to reject the fundamental truths around us. I'm not going to waste so much more of my voice. I've given you all I need to give you for tonight. But when we have Bible study, we are going to talk about this devil. We have to. We must talk about this devil that is destroying not only democracy, but the ability to raise our children healthy, safe and secure, with a functioning public health system and a functioning public education system. And if this government is not capable of providing that, then they have violated the social contract. Am I lying? Put it in the chat. Now, Father, in the name of Jesus, as I close out this sermon, as I close out this brief Bible study, laying it out here for plain, laying it out here plain, we're wrestling against spiritual wickedness in high places. We're wrestling with the fact that no matter where or when, it doesn't matter if it's in our home, it doesn't matter if it's on our job, it doesn't matter if it's in the city halls, it doesn't matter if it's in the school boards, it doesn't matter if it's in Washington, D.C. or in the capital of our state, it doesn't matter, it always shows up. Those people who will lie just to get away with what they don't know how to do. Those are the people who are taking control of Washington, D.C. right now. And it is a threat to us. It is a threat to the security of our children. The behavior patterns of the leaders of this world, the behavior patterns of the leaders of this nation in both parties. The behavior pattern is to, one just completely denies that a thing exists. And the other literally does basically nothing to make it happen, to act on it, to prevent it from happening. But God, despite where we are in this current location, this situation that we have right now, these people, these individuals, Donald Trump, those people who are storming their own gates of their own empire, they are subject to your authority. And so in the name of Jesus, I rebuke them in the name of Jesus. I rebuke the spirit of white supremacy in the name of Jesus. I rebuke the spirit of white supremacy in the name of Jesus. I rebuke the spirit of ignorance in the name of Jesus. I rebuke this intentional obtuseness in the name of Jesus. I rebuke this violent tendency, this bloodlust that they have for violence. We rebuke it in the name of Jesus. We rebuke the greed in the name of Jesus, selling us off as parts, breaking up our lives and our families through violence, through fear and intimidation, through silencing our voices. All the many ways that they will go above and beyond just to keep the truth from coming out. Lord, have mercy. In the name of Jesus, we need you to intervene. We need you to step in. We need you to show yourself strong. I'm foolish enough to jump out here and say, you know what, Lord, if we ever needed the Lord before, we sure do need him now. We sure do need him now. We sure do need him now. If we ever needed the Lord before, we sure do need him now. We need him every day and every hour. God, we need you. I'm calling on your name because I know better. I look to the hills from whence cometh my help. All my help comes from the Lord who made heaven and earth. I know better, God. And so in the name of Jesus, Satan, the Lord rebuke you. We rebuke white supremacy. In the name of Jesus, we rebuke greed. In the name of Jesus, we rebuke xenophobia. In the name of Jesus, the ability to scapegoat the immigrant. And if I could, God, let me just pause for 1 second. Can I talk back with the people for a second, God? And then I'll get right back to you. Y'all forgive me. Forgive me. Because what we're dealing with, I need you to understand as much intellectually as I need you to understand it spiritually. I think you get the spiritual. I think you get the fact that I would not be out here crossing that line of church and state as clearly and as out of necessity to demonstrate that while there are people out here who are using religion to see who they can suppress, they don't want women in the pulpit, they don't want immigrants in the nation, they don't want black people to have diversity, equity, and inclusion, but they call themselves Christian. They don't want the least of these. They make laws making it illegal to sleep in the park as a homeless person. We're talking about a cruel system. And so as I pray and I'm pleading for help from the Lord, I'm pleading because we're wrestling against spiritual wickedness in high places. And we need the Lord to intervene. Now, this doesn't mean you don't do your part. No, quite the contrary. Faith without works is dead. That's why I'm first to volunteer for tribute. That's why I'm first to jump out here. Where's the fight? Let me go fight, intellectually speaking. I need you all to hear me with the love and clarity. The fact that I'm talking, I'm as much as I'm talking in the spirit, y'all know I'm talking facts. Listen, tell us, are you hearing this in the spirit? Are you hearing this in the facts? Or both? Because I know the truth when I see the truth. And the truth is that there is a systematized, algorithmic, efficient virus that is spreading through Washington, D.C. Right now, this minute, this hour. A precisely genetically tuned virus has been dispersed throughout Washington, D.C., and the most ignorant morons on the face of the planet are breaking the most efficient empire in the history